You know, it's pretty weird and interesting to think about how this was my lifestyle. This was my whole life, and me personally, I think I've done a pretty good job of adjusting lifestyles. But there's still some things that I do or I haven't been able to adjust to due to it being such a different lifestyle. Fun fact: I gave up my last hit. I gave up here. It went over that fence.
Pitch is swung on, and it's now 8-3.
That was definitely a sign to hang it up, but I didn't want to. I remember this parking lot right here, after my last game, bawling my eyes out. And it's because I realized I love my sport a lot more than what I thought I did. It kind of hit me like a train, and I'm like, oh, now I got to deal with real life. So everything I'm talking about is based on my personal experience, and let me tell you a little bit about my transition so far. So straight out of school, I got my business degree and went straight into finance. Failed my exam to become a financial advisor and was already thinking about coming back to school because I know I wanted to work in sports. So far, a great decision. I went through the master's program, went through an internship, learned a new skill, got a nice set of friends, expanding my connections. So that was a good experience. Almost a year later, I'm actually been working in media and doing my own thing with freelancing and social media and photography and videography and yada yada yada. In my occupation, I'm around athletes that I played with against, seen grow up, that are older than me still playing, and a lot of people who are in like the same transitional period from ending their careers and going into their careers. What I realized is when you're in this transition phase, there are three different things you can lose, and three things at some point that I feel like I lost, but then I'm good now. Identity, structure, and motivation. When I talk about structure, that sport, that was what your life was structured around. That was what my life was structured around. Like I said, I played baseball from such a young age. That's all I thought about. That's all I planned everything around. And at some point I realized I had to start focusing on other things and think about how I'm going to structure my life, not around this thing that I've done every day for 18 years, right? Let's talk about motivation, right? Let's go back to the hoop dreams. I had baseball hoop dreams, right? If you play a competitive sport at a high level, not everybody, but majority of you had dreams to make it to an even higher level. That could have been a big motivation in your life, or one of the biggest motivations in your life. And now that you're not gonna continue that, and now that you're trying to transition into something else, you gotta find different motivations, and they're not always gonna be there like the one that you dedicated your whole life to, right? My motivations now are to build a business, somehow get a not somehow, but Monty, leave everything alone, to build wealth, to calm this cat down. Other motivations, and they're not always going to be fully there like the one I dedicated my whole life to at one point, right? And identity. Student athletes, professional sports players, professional player of something, right? If you're in that transition, you're no longer gonna be that athlete or player. You can still be an athlete. You can still do the thing that you're doing for fun. But if you're transitioning into something else, or a workforce, or into family or something like that, then your identity is gonna change into things. You're not gonna you're gonna have that set identity on that thing. It could be on something else, right? And it's funny to think about like what a lot of us do in this transition period, right? Like, not saying this is a bad thing. I think in the long run, coaching. I was good at baseball. I have a lot of knowledge. Like I said, I'm around athletes every day. I'm working at a place where it's tons of coaches that I play with and against, and it's a wealth of knowledge. I have a wealth of knowledge. I've got asked to coach, right? And a lot of us go into coaching. Some of us go into coaching because we don't know what else to do. We only know that sport. We only know that thing. Even if we got degrees in something, or even if we have a job and stuff like that, we usually go into coaching because that's what we're good at, even if we don't want to do it. In the long run, I do want to coach. I think not at the end of my career, but once I'm comfortable, at some point I do want to coach. I liked coaching. I just wasn't getting paid. Just like you can lose something though, you can gain stuff. So like I said, when I went through my internship program, and since I've been out of the sport, I've gained a lot of things. I've gained a lot of experiences, connection. I feel like I've grown as a person as much in this past year as I've done through my years of high school and college. I grew a lot in college, but like specifically like what the knowledge I've learned, how I've started communicating with people within my network. And like I said, I had such a good experience in my like internship program with the media and everything. I got good connections out of there and have started to even slowly grow my own business and help other businesses grow too. So that's really cool. New environments, new people, new experiences, personal growth. So yeah, you lose the routine, you lose the structure, you lose the identity, but you gain new experiences and a chance to build a completely different version of yourself, which I feel like I'm doing in a good way, because I was a pretty good person.
I don't know why it's so cold today, but to conclude this, it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be odd. You might have a smooth transition. I don't know. I don't know you, but you'll figure it out. We'll all be straight. You don't gotta just survive with sports. Plus, you can always go play rec league, go dominate. It's not the same, but it's still fun. If you didn't make it this far, thanks for watching. I'm gonna be coming out with videos based around building a business, some media, photography. So if you're interested in that, come follow along. I would really appreciate it. Thank you. Bye.